So we discussed in the last lesson how the last lecture was an example of nonfiction. And for this lesson, we're going to focus on the reading strategies that you can apply to reading nonfiction in order to allow you to provoke thinking and response. In other words, how can you make connections to the text so that you'll have a deeper understanding of it? Let's first talk about some questioning strategies. Some of the questions you want to ask yourself as you read are, does the author try to persuade you in any way? It's important to understanding the author's purpose if you are trying to determine, is this a persuasive piece, an informative piece? Is it meant simply for entertainment? And so in order to understand that, you need to ask yourself as you read, is the author trying to persuade me? The second thing you want to look for, you want to try to identify facts and opinions. So a fact is something that can be proven true, and you'll remember from your vocabulary that opinions are really the author's idea, the author's opinion, and can't necessarily be proven true. And so it's important as you read to try to identify which are facts and which are simply the author's opinion. Next, you want to look and ask yourself what words, phrases, or statements does the author use that caught your attention? Ask why they caught your attention. How did they make you feel? What did they make you think? And if you start to ask yourself these questions and take notes as you read, you'll start to have a deeper understanding of the text. You'll become more involved in the text, and you're more likely to remember specifics from the text. The next strategy that we'll talk about is the connect to self strategy. So you should ask yourself, have you ever had a similar experience? How did you feel? What did you do? You may find that you have similarities with the author, or you may find that you had completely different situations. So part of what you will ask is, how was your situation the same or different? You may also ask, did you connect to any of the decisions the people you read about made? So for example, you may decide that you connect to the decisions that were made by the author. Or maybe you don't like the decisions the author made, but instead you connect to the decisions made by the author's wife or the author's friends. Either of those are fine. You don't have to agree with what the author does or says in order to take meaning from the text. Next, you can ask yourself, did you learn anything about yourself by reading about what happened or what other people did? Now, making this connection to yourself is a great way to make meaning from the text, and it's also a way to really make the text memorable for you. You're more likely to remember what you read if you stop and make these connections as you read.